Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Marvel Visionaries, the John Buscema edition. So these books right here are essentially collections of works by a certain creator, whether they be a writer or an artist. In this case, an artist. John Buscema is a legendary artist for Marvel, especially the old Marvel bullpen back in the days. He's probably most famous for being the contributing and leading artist on famous How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee and John Buscema. That's kind of the greatest how to draw or how to make comics 101 book out there. Very famous for those of you who are interested in drawing or making your own comics. It's a great book to pick up. But anyway, this collection right here is fascinating. I've always kind of enjoyed John Buscema's art. There's something very classic about his style. He's just the quintessential Marvel house style, you could say, especially back in the 60s and 70s. But the issue I'm going to cover today is, not that one, I'm going to cover Silver Surfer. In this case, I'm covering Silver Surfer number 4, which is by Stan Lee and John Buscema. And while I do want to focus on John Buscema, the other reason why I want to mention this issue is a perfect argument to the idea that Stan Lee was some kind of hack that stole stuff from people and never came up with his own ideas. In fact, if anything, Silver Surfer number 4 probably proves the opposite. And don't get me wrong, I like Jack Kirby and I like Steve Ditko, but to completely disregard the contributions of Stan Lee and all of those Fantastic Four issues and Spider-Man issues and just say, well, it was all Ditko and it was all Kirby, is, it's a bit biased in my opinion, and it's also mostly untrue. There are certain issues that were, I would say like 90-80% Ditko and Kirby, but that was mainly because Stan Lee was so busy trying to grow the company and create merchandising deals and all kinds of other stuff, and really push Marvel out as a brand, just beyond just the comic books, right? Remember, Stan Lee was very busy in Hollywood and elsewhere trying to get Marvel into more of pop culture. In hindsight, maybe he shouldn't have done that, but that this issue though is just, it's all 100% Stan Lee. John Buscema is not really a writer; he is by far an artist. Very good visual storyteller though. It's Sal Buscema inking, Artie Simek lettering. Perhaps the greatest fantasy saga of all time, the Silver Surfer, Skyrider of the Spaceways. So let's jump into this. This is a very famous crossover of the Silver Surfer and Thor, sort of an Asgard cosmic crossover. And we open this up, we have this great splash page right here with Loki brooding. Like, look at the way John Buscema draws Loki in this issue is fantastic. He really gives Loki this look of just, disgust and disdain at those that he dislikes, whether it's Thor or even him looking down on the Surfer or others, right? And this is classic Stan Lee right here. And when Loki broods, let all who live beware. The good, the bad, and the uncanny. So I'm not gonna read up too much of it. You really should read this issue yourself. It's perfect prose by Stan Lee. But essentially, Loki's pissed off. He's trying to find yet another way to defeat his brother Thor, and he goes over to his chambers to conjure up a potion to sort of observe and find fighters that could potentially defeat Thor. Runs into the Hulk. He isn't very happy with it. He runs into the Thing, again not happy. Sees Hercules, isn't very happy, and then behold, he sees the Skyrider of the Spaceways, the Silver Surfer, and he sees the Surfer's challenges, his fight with Galactus, how he became a herald, what he sacrificed to become a herald. Look at the facial expressions of Loki. It's just so good. Like Buscema's stuff here, and this is also great Stan Lee writing here. He perfectly explains the situation of Loki, why he wants to get rid of Thor and others, right? And the situation of the Silver Surfer within 4 pages essentially. And then he even goes into further background on the Silver Surfer with his conflicts with Galactus and Mephisto. And at that point, Loki deems what he wants to do. He's like, I will make him be my herald and he will defeat Thor. Then we go over to Fandral, Volkstag, and Hogarun, who are fighting off these thugs. And you get a lot of comedy. Back in these days, Volstagg was kind of comedic relief. He was just this fat guy who was always running away or not really getting into the fight. Loki kind of boasts to them that I have found a way to defeat Thor. Haha, tell him that he's doomed. And they, of course, run over to warn Thor. Little do you know, this is somewhat of a ploy by Thor. Again, a lot of people don't realize that Stan Lee's plotting was a lot deeper than people realize. There's a lot of levels to his art. This is like, look at this. This really reminds me of Conan. You can see his Conan influence is flowing into Thor right here. It's excellent. So we go over to the Silver Surfer, and typical of Stan Lee's Surfer, you start off with a lot of philosophy, right? Essentially this existentialism that the Surfer has, which is, I'm trapped here on this world of violent men, and I find myself more at peace with these beasts than I am with humanity, who is constantly in an endless trial of war right here. Here comes Loki, and they get into a conflict, and it's more of a classic 60s Marvel type of dialogue. And Loki, finding that he can't convince the Surfer to fight him, decides to go off and cause trouble in the city nearby. This causes the Surfer to chase after him, and they get into a fight with each other. And you get this great look at this clash right here. Oh, dude, look at this. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much because you really should read this issue. This issue is fantastic. It's really, really good. Even though it's old, it is truly a great issue, and classic Stan Lee and classic John Buscema. Look at this. Look at them like wrestling each other right here. Just the energy right here. This is long before the days of Dragon Ball Z or Fist of the North Star, and you could see how influential and unique Marvel was back in the days. With the fight, and Logan realizes his power is the cosmic, power that the Silver Surfer has, and at this point he's able to manipulate him by showing Thor preparing his defenses for Loki. Little does the Surfer know that Thor is doing this in reaction to what Loki did before, and you can see the manipulation and the layers of Loki. Right, Loki is a very sharp villain. That's always what he is. He's the trickster, right? The god of mischief. So, and he also dangles in front of the Surfer the dream of being free to escape Earth and to be with his loved one, right? And this drives the Surfer to agree to kind of investigate Asgard. And through many types of trickery, right, here comes the Surfer to Thor's feast. I'm kind of jumping a little bit quick here because honestly, you should read this whole thing. It's really excellent. Just run it down. Silver Surfer number 4. It's a freaking famous issue. And I love this scene here where the Surfer, he is ultimately heroic-like, right? So he goes over and he really doesn't want to fight, but he has been convinced by Loki that these people here, the Asgardians, are evil, that they are warlike and they want to conquer and enslave others. So he opens up like a man right here and points down Thor and says, I challenge you, and if you don't return the challenge, you are a coward, right? And all of his buddies get really pissed off, but Thor stops them. I love look at the manliness of this pose right here. And he invites him to the feast and say, hey, let's talk it over and try to figure out what's going on right here. Because Thor, he sees the almost heroic way that the Surfer challenges him and is like, I don't believe this guy is bad. And you can see here, look at the visual storytelling by Buscema here. Look at him, and look at Stan Lee take advantage of this to use these elegant thought balloons to kind of provide even more storytelling within just one panel. Look how things move so quickly right here. This is an extra size issue, by the way. This is like about 39-40 pages, but still so much happens in it. It's freaking great. So yeah, they have a tournament right here where the Asgardians fight each other, and then when there's a champion, Loki manipulates the champion to attack the Surfer. And this convinces the Surfer that they are violent, and Loki uses his magic to kind of, blind everybody and silence their hearing and get everybody enraged. And so the fight begins, the Surfer attacking the Asgardians, and Thor fighting. I like this. The Surfer basically bends on his board, and the hammer sends him flying out of the building, right? You can see the power that both the Silver Surfer and Thor both have as they go at it. Oh man, this is great. You also get a jump over here with Odin, where this is kind of Stan Lee kind of explaining, well, how come Odin didn't fight in this battle? Well, because he's like, I saw in the future, these two are both good men. You know, it'll end well, you know, in a way, right? And look, this is freaking great. Oh man, I love this illustration right here with this shadowing and everything, and just this surfer nearby. You just know who these are, even though it's mostly black. It's just freaking great. Oh man, sorry, I'm like geeking out right here. This is such a great issue, and honestly, if you've never read this, I cannot recommend any of Stan Lee's Surfer issues. You really should read it. I think Stan Lee truly was himself when he was writing the Surfers, the Silver Surfer. He really, I think, had a special place in his heart for this character. But yeah, they fight each other, and eventually the Surfer kind of gets the upper hand on Thor, and he's amazed by all of his allies just willing to fight and to the death for him. And he kind of thinks to himself, like, there's no way that villains would inspire this much devotion. There's no way a tyrant or a conqueror would inspire this much loyalty out of his followers. So he's kind of blown away by it all. And then eventually, little by little, Thor and the Surfer come to the realization what's going on, which is Loki has manipulated the Surfer. Even the Surfer realizes it. And then when he finally does, Loki's like, damn you all! And he just banishes the Surfer back beyond the barrier on Earth. And Thor just kind of just admires the Surfer at the end, like, wow, what a dude right here. And the Surfer is left off, again, wondering if he will ever break through the barrier right here. In a way, you could say that the issue doesn't necessarily advance the plot of the Surfer escaping the barrier, but it was an exciting sort of crossover issue, and at the same time, just great characterization of all of these characters. And really, I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's Stan the Man, talking about Thor, Asgard, Loki, Galactus, and Silver Surfer, right? A lot of his favorite things for the most part. But yeah, if you have not read Silver Surfer number 4, I highly recommend this. And if you're a big fan of John Buscema, you can pick up these Marvel Visionaries for fairly affordable. They're fantastic. A lot of great stories in here and great art by John Buscema. But anyway, let's get to art real quick here. So the Silver Surfer, one of the easiest characters to color. Essentially, all you're going to have is a very light, cool gray, and then you're going to go in with a slightly darker gray, where the shading goes. You can kind of get a little funky with your inks. Really fun right here. I decided to make the logo blue. I thought it would be fun. And I love this is like the opposite position of the pose where he's pointing at Thor and challenging him. I always thought that was such a sick panel. I thought it would have been really cool to have the Surfer facing you right as he challenges you. The cosmic rider right here issuing his challenge. Anyhow, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If you got any comments on the Silver Surfer number 4 or this book or my art, leave it down below. And I will see you next time.